You know, I think something that I'll touch on too for a lot of the Sikh youth that are watching this was I questioned my religion, I questioned my heritage, I questioned my turban, I questioned my hair, and I questioned my beard.
Mm.
And I wasn't very open about sharing that with the world because I thought people would judge me, but I've become very open with sharing it with the world
Mm.
because I think they need to understand that it's a process and it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy. It was not easy. It won't be easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anybody that's 13, 14, going through, you know, hormonal changes, puberty, all
Mm-hmm.
that jazz. It's tough for a sick male in that position to go through what they're going through. However, I was very lucky to have an older brother that went through the process 6 years before I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm better than him. If he can do it, I can do it, right? No, but I thank him a lot because he went through that process. He went through the ugly phases. He figured it out. And I'm like, if he can figure it out, I'm cut from the same bread, like from the same like material. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was also lucky to have a dad that was relatively fashionable. Also went through it. Came to Canada at a time where there wasn't Sidars here.
Mm.
My you know, my grandparents, my dad, his siblings started very successful businesses in an environment, in an industry that wasn't opening to Sikhs and wasn't
Mm.
open to diversity. And I'm like, well, he kicked it, like he kicked people's butts at the time where he
Mm.
wasn't supposed to and allowed to, so like this shouldn't be hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people it was tough. And so my biggest role models growing up were them. It was people like my family that went through the struggle, my uncles, my older cousins that went through the struggle, and I'm like, they made it out alive. I can do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so those were my biggest role models growing up. As I've gotten more into fashion and into this network, you know, Humble the Poet was a huge influence for me.
Mm-hmm.
He may not, you know, he doesn't. He's a very fashionable individual now, but his early times was just like music and art and
Mm-hmm.
spreading that message of love. And he gave me that message of be who you are, push yourself,
Yeah.
be confident with yourself. So Humble's been a huge influence for me. Then you've got obviously Jagmeet and Gurratan, who are style icons, who
Mm-hmm.
wore their identity with pride, who introduced the world to colorful turbans and all that
Mm-hmm.
jazz. And then obviously someone like Waris, who's like, I have the biggest man crush on Waris. I tell everybody, like, he is the most beautiful person on this earth. No
He
woman can be
is.
as gorgeous as he is. But you know, Waris has broken so many stereotypes, and he's
Mm-hmm.
broken so many walls down for us to do what we do. And so, not like a crazy amount, but just people that have been themselves through the process. Like,
Mm.
I know people that know Waris personally, and they tell me that he doesn't change his personality for anyone. He's a
Mm-hmm.
quiet, shy guy. He wears his identity on his shoulder. He wears his emotions and pride on his shoulder, and it's apparent, but he's who he is. He's not
Mm-hmm.
going to change himself for anybody, and that's who you get on camera, who is who he really is.
Mm-hmm.
And like similar with Humble, I know him on a personal basis, and he doesn't change himself for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He won't change himself for anybody, and he, for South Asians, especially like South Asian parents that are questioning a lot of the stuff that people are doing in arts, he doesn't care what people need to hear or say. He'll say whatever he wants to hear and
Mm-hmm.
say, and that's important. And so, a lot of individuals that have just, you know, been themselves through the process and haven't changed for anybody, and that's important to me because I hope that I can continue to grow. I hope I can continue to break down barriers. I hope I can become, you know, that icon one day for an
Mm-hmm.
individual, but I never want to lose sight of who I originally was and who I am, and I don't think I ever will. And so those are the role models in my life. Yeah.